Okay, people. So, the one thing I don't understand is the over exaggeration of human consciousness. It's like people think like we're more like conscious than a lot of the other life forms, which I wouldn't say that. I don't see that as the case, to be honest, that we are necessarily more conscious than other life forms. I see it more as it's like, okay, give you an example. Like this plant is operating off its functions. This plant, if it was probably in the ground with another plant much as itself, it will start communicating to that plant in other means. Plants actually communicate to each other. Some of you are not aware of that already. So, and that's the thing. And they communicate through chemical processes. Now, humans, obviously, we communicate through speaking, which is through our airways, which is actually, we're still using like molecules to be able to communicate with one another, whether it be radio waves or actual airways. You know what I'm saying? Means this is the only way we'll be able to audibly hear ourselves, but we don't even have to audibly hear. We can use other physical things to communicate, like our hands. There's still a bunch of chemical process going on your hands to just generate this hands movement. We're still operating as a function, much like how these plants operate off as a function, much like how my cat operates off his natural instinctual functions. Because he is also too a conscious living thing, conscious living creature. See, he feels me doing this and all that. But he has a function, much as I do. I love you. Anyway, but yeah. And much like flies, they have their function. They like to eat whatever they want to eat. It's all function. And simply that is how we as humans also act. We act off of a function. There is no more than that. It's an like people try to exaggerate, like what about how we form a complex like in a human? No, we operate off of a function much just like the other life forms on this planet. Yeah. And this is what this is what I be trying to put out there to the world. It's like, in order for us to really talk about consciousness, awareness, you must understand the differences in expressed awareness. Until you understand the differences in expressed awareness, we will never get to the correct answers on consciousness. Because there is no more consciousness than the other things. I am just, this thing is right here. This living thing is just as aware as I am. It does not express it in the way I do because obviously it's a different life form and its functions are different. This plant, it's green, it has chlorophyll, it needs sunlight to produce its own food. I don't produce my own food. Or well, you could say it's kind of dependent on food, but I don't produce my own energy. I have to acquire my energy through external sources. You know what I'm saying? While this one doesn't have to. Don't have to. Its consciousness, its awareness is different than mine's. This is what I mean by that. So when it gets into the stuff about panpsychism, and panpsychism makes sense to a degree. I will say that's why I'm more for pan-proto-psychism, where there are the building blocks. There's elements and particles present in the universe that when we can assemble them to expose or generate consciousness. One of those things that we haven't generate consciousness from, that we know for a fact that we likely can, is antimatter. Specifically with positrons and certain assemblies of antimatter, we can likely generate other forms of consciousness. But it's hard for us to produce antimatter because, again, it's antimatter. It's the opposite charge. When they combine with matter, they annihilate. They annihilate instantly because we're not in a stable environment for antimatter to thrive because there's too much matter with the opposing charges surrounding antimatter. So it'll be hard for us to create it, but it can be done. It can be done. It can be created. Probably, if we were try to create like a living life form out of antimatter, we would probably try to go as far as just creating a singular cell, which it would probably only live for like a short period of time because there wouldn't be a natural food source for an antimatter cell. But at the same time, it can be done. Electrons play a key role in consciousness, a very big key role. There's a lot of neural functions triggering things and also being passed through cells, a lot of electrical energy being passed through cells to be able to perform their functions. So it's pretty much how it happens for us. It's energy, but it's a chemical, electrical form of energy for us and for those plants too, and for my cat. There's no difference in levels to the consciousness. There's just simply the building blocks of the consciousness. Like this fan. It has electrical current passing through it. Is it conscious? I would say no. It has a function, yes. But as far as consciousness goes, it doesn't express awareness of its environment. Like, the fan has no way to know where it exists in, only just through its physical molecular structure. It does have energy. It does produce energy, and I'm not just talking electrical energy. Its physical structure is an energy field. This is atoms that make up this is energy. It's energetic. I wouldn't be able to feel it right now if it didn't have its own energy. Y'all understand, we don't really touch things, right? To touch means to chemically combine in science. We don't chemically combine when we touch something like this because the propulsion force of its energy field and our energy field. So they're actually propelling each other, right? It's actually propelling me, like repulsing me. I can't physically combine with this fan right now to touch it. I just can't. Because its energy is in opposition to my energy. Right. As much as this, that, all these things have energy. That's what gives them their structure. That's what gives them existence. Are they aware where they at? Likely not. Do they get old? Do they break down? Yeah. It's a bunch of different physical processes on how that does. Yeah. Like eventually, you sit on a cushion so many times, eventually, the puffiness of of that cushion is going to wear out over time, obviously. It's due to the conditions that it's being exposed to. Ooh, those are the conditions that wear that out. The conditions that wear out mirrors, it's likely probably sunlight, or just being exposed to dirt, or maybe something physically has to go and break a mirror. Mirror can probably live indefinitely. Who knows? Well, not live, but stuff. None of these things are conscious. Could we use building blocks to make them conscious? Possibly so. I could probably make this fan, give it an AI consciousness, give it artificial consciousness to make it understand that it's in, and program it to understand that this is a living room. Which is inside of a home, what we call a home. And eventually, this fan will be able to repeat that information back to you if I program that into this fan. Added a whole computer system that will allow it to have awareness. A certain level of awareness, as anything artificial is not naturally born from the world. It's created by us. So by us giving it a conscious, it'll be more data driven versus feeling. That's the thing with AI and its consciousness. This is where we get into the difference is in understanding of expressing awareness. To express awareness and understanding the differences and how awareness is expressed is the key factor into understanding the extent of consciousness. I'm gonna let y'all sit with